You want me to introduce myself? All right. I'm Christina Chorianopoulou. I'm from Athens in Greece, and I'm very, very proud and happy to be part of TESOL Greece. Uh, I am going to talk about TESOL, but in a more general way. So, what I wanted to say when I was preparing for this presentation, I was thinking of the keywords. I was thinking of passion, I was thinking of fresh and innovation, and I was wondering if I could put them all together or what makes them all come together for me. And I came up basically, not came up, I realized that what I've always followed, especially when it comes to developing, because that is mainly my passion, was the gaming principle. And the gaming principle is perfect for what I call the quiet ELT forces. And this force that I'm talking about is basically each and every one of us. Um, Let me explain on the next slide what I mean by the gaming principle. Now, there are some common grounds between gaming, which I'm also passionate about, and professional or personal development. The setting and the character building is the basis of it all. You need some good world to be in, and you also need to be able to develop your character. You also need a lot of exploration and quests to follow in order to keep you challenged and interested. You need variety, and you need to be able to see how you progress. Interactivity and community are a major factor when it comes to good gameplay, but also to good development, and I will explain that further. The topmost qualities that a good game and good development has, in my view, is a good narrative and definitely the outcomes. So let's start by going on the next slide on the setting and the character building. The setting is vital because we all live in a particular world and we need to be aware of where we are. We need to be aware of our context and what we're trying to do. But we also need to be aware of our own traits, what we bring into this world. Some traits we already have and we know we have them and we're happy to bring them in, but some others we tend to discover along the way. And we need to have good grounds and a good world to experience them in. So that is the basic principle. Let's move on to the next. Exploration and quests. Now, in my view, everything that happens around us, whether it is in our teaching or in our everyday life, is a quest. There is always a what happened. We question how it happened. We question how, who, and why it came about. Also the why, and we tend to think of what comes next. So tasks and projects are really what we're all about, and that is the same thing when it comes to our development. When we try to develop further, it's all about what we're trying to do. Who's going to help us? Who can we help when we do it? Why are we doing it? And where can it lead us? Let's move on to the next. The variety and the progression. We need variety, and thankfully, especially in the language teaching world, we have variety. We have our daily practice, we have our learners, we have studies and training that we do further and further in our lives. We have academia, we have things that we read, we have discussions, plain discussions with our colleagues or our friends, we have educators that are in our network. We have social media, of course, and we certainly have associations because we need to be part of something. The problem is that sometimes we think that we need to stop. We say that I need to stop this because I've learned enough, or I'm tired, or I don't know what I'm going to do next. But what I think is that the moment that we believe that we are full and that we have to stop, that is the moment that we certainly need to move on. We have so much more to learn and we learn every day, and that is part of our development. Let's move on to the next. Interactivity and community. Where would we be if we were just us? We have huge networks that we work with and that work with us. We have our colleagues, we have our mentors, and that doesn't only need to be one. We have groups that we are part of. I mentioned them here as reflective practice groups because this is what mostly works for me, but it doesn't have to be like that for everyone. More importantly, though, we have our teacher associations, like TESOL Greece here in Athens in Greece, but we also have international teacher associations. We also have other associations that we may be a part of and we might contribute to. We have conferences that are happening all year round and that we can be part of and contribute to. I mentioned uncommon as well because this is a trend that I'm very fond of, something that takes us off the limits of the way things are always done, something that is more informal. And for some of us, it might work. It might work in our development. Like in TESOL Greece, we have our main conference, but we also have special interest groups. We also have many other events that might cater for special interests, special needs, something particular that someone wants to work on. We have committees that you can be part of. And the same applies to other organizations as well that you can also be a part of. Let's move on to the next. Now, the narrative is something that means a lot to people, I think. We need a good story. We need something to be told to us that is appealing, that keeps us interested, that makes us feel that we want to hear more. The narrative includes a lot of things as well. It's also very varied. We have research, and even though for some of us who are not academics, research is not something easy to fall into, we need to be doing it because it's part of what we do. We need to know where we're coming from. And we also need to, in a way, demand to make it more accessible to us. Journals and journaling ourselves, reading blogs and writing blogs ourselves is also a vital part of our development and helps us in this whole narrative idea to move the world that we have built or that we have found ourselves in forward. Let's move on. We need outcomes. We need tangible outcomes. We need to know what we're doing. While developing and being part of an association helps us develop it even further is effective habits. Effective habits is something that we all need to cultivate at some point, something that works for us, something that makes us feel accomplished, something that makes us challenge ourselves even more. We learn how to set goals, we learn how to achieve them, we learn how to build connections with the world around us. More importantly, we taste the accomplishment. We can see the results, even when there's slight trouble, like today, giving a webinar and having technical issues. It doesn't matter because the accomplishment is there. We are connecting, we are sharing, and this is the most important part. Next. I'm very happy to be doing this because I've never done it before in a presentation. I'm actually quoting a game character. And I am a gamer, and this particular quote has made all the difference in my personal and professional development. As you can read there, we're made up of thousands of parts with thousands of functions all working in tandem. And we can bring everything that we are forward. We can bring everything that we do, everything that we wish to achieve forward by being part of the community of teachers like we are doing today, like we are doing in all our associations that we are part of. And we can close. This has been me. You can find us at TESOL Greece through our website, of course, at tesolgreece.org. Me in particular at the newsletter editor email, and I hope you can get contributions from you all. You can find us on Twitter and certainly everywhere else. I really wish to thank Rob from EFLtalks, John from BELTA, and everyone for being with us today. And my apologies for all the technical problems that I have caused through this whole issue.